What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal, Steele, coming to you live in this special, super late edition. Thank you for joining me, fellow night owls, fellow crypto vampires, whatever you want to call yourselves. But those are the terms that I usually throw around for these late Doge after darkers, right? It's about 1:20 in the morning, and we're just starting. We're just getting started where I am, and believe it or not, I am fired up. And there's lots of fun stuff to talk about, and we are going to get down to it all, boppers. So strap in, whether you got a cocktail or some chamomile or something in between, because we are going for quite a ride. Before we get started, if I could just ask you to smash that like button. That's the number one thing you can do to help out the channel. It helps us work through those tricky YouTube algorithms to reach more people, so appreciate that. Also, if you're brand new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. You're watching Steele Live. I'm, of course, Steele. It's great to have you with us, and I want to tell you, we have an exceptional, eccentric little community here on our little corner of the interwebs, and I want you to be a part of it. So hit subscribe, hit all that notification bell. And yeah, without any further ado, let's see who's up in the chat tonight. Who is awake with me tonight? We've got Hector the Dude. We've got Keith Havens. We've got Jeremy Abbott. We got Alan Schneider. Diamond Hands Freddy. Robbie Gilchrist, the Dogecoin Dolphin. Who else do we got in here? Scott Herforth, good to see you. Mr. Kai Lin, good to see you as well. Who else? Jason Huffman, of course. Who else? Keith. I already gave Keith a shot. World Discovery, good to see you. Do I have everyone covered that's active in the chat? Georgie, good to see you, Georgie. The Hump Deezy, of course. Zombie Doge Army. They just keep coming in, folks. They just keep coming in. I think I got everyone covered that's aside from the lurkers, of course. And Jason Huffman starting things off with the first super chat of the evening. Appreciate that so much. $10. Thanks for helping keep the lights on over here at Steele HQ popping. That super chat, Jerry. What's good, family? Appreciate that so much, Jason Huffman. Thanks for helping get the party started. Some really fun developments have come in on the news cycle. Literally moments before I went live tonight, and as indicated by the thumbnail and title, and we're going to get to that and a whole lot more. So why don't we just start at the top of it, guys? Let's start at the top of it. Well, firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that the market is in quite a nice little upswing. What do we attribute this to? Perhaps the Steele effect. I would like to take credit for it, but of course I have nothing to do with it. But we do see Bitcoin almost up 9% for the day. I mean, this is incredible. And specifically, a lot of this came on the PM. So right now, Bitcoin trading at about 41,600. Ethereum up about a little over 2,700. For a gain of the last 24 hours, about 8%. XRP trading at about 75.5%, up about 4% for the day. Lunaterra raging super strong. Guys, what have I told you about Lunaterra? I told you that Lunaterra was just getting warmed up. It's just getting warmed up. Lunaterra absolutely killing it with all-time highs right now. Up 22%, absolutely monster gains for Lunaterra, not only for today, not only for this week, but for the month. Folks, check it out. Lunaterra is up 75%. Remember, I kept telling you guys about Lunaterra. I kept telling you that this was going to happen. Those of you who listen to me regularly know that I was keeping a super strong eye on both AVAX and Lunaterra specifically. And now, Lunaterra trading at over $97, up 75% at an all-time high. This is just wild stuff, particularly since we've been in such a bear market. But Lunaterra is one of the only exceptions out there. Actually, the only exception, particularly in the top 25 cryptos, that has just been killing it and accelerating to degrees that are just almost baffling compared to the rest of the market. A real testimony to its technology, a real testimony to its community. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Lunaterra a bit later in the broadcast. And of course, Doge right now, Doge is trading about 12.25 right now, up about 1% over the last hour, up about 4% over the last day. Of course, we want to see some more gains. But as we've seen so many times in the past, folks, as we've seen so many times in the past, and something I've often pointed out in this program is when Bitcoin takes huge gains, there's usually a delay effect on Dogecoin of about 24 to 48 hours. And 9 times out of 10, when Bitcoin takes a huge, massive gain, Dogecoin doesn't follow it immediately, but it almost always follows it within about 24 to 48 hours. So expect Dogecoin to make about, percentage-wise anyway, similar gains to Bitcoin is making right now within the next 24 to 48. I think part of what's going on why we are seeing this upswing in the market is some of President Biden's plans were leaked out by Janet Yellen. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what I think we can anticipate as a consequence of this crypto executive order coming from the president. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to go over that in a little bit too. But first, I'd like to acknowledge Jeremy Abbott coming in big and strong at $50 to make you holler, bringing that big Doge energy. Jeremy, my hat's tipped to you, sir. Thank you so much. It's hugely appreciated. Thank you for your strong support. Thank you for bringing the positive energy and just the strong support. Really appreciate it, man. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We got the big 10-gallon here tonight. This is my favorite cowboy hat. It's a 1970s suede. Nostalgic Jake also coming in with huge. Look at this bright red, almost fuchsia going on the screen, if you know what I mean. It is wild stuff. Nostalgic Jake also bringing that big Doge energy, big positive energy with $50. Humbly, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Nostalgic Jay. Thank you for helping to keep the lights on over here at Steele HQ. Good to see you again, Real Deal. Good to see you back. Nostalgia Jay, always great to see you. You know, I got to tell you guys, we have got the best community here. It may not be the biggest, but we really do have the best community here. And I watch a variety of content creators, and I'm a fan of a variety of content creators, specifically even in the Doge-centric content creators. And I got to tell you, there's some nice communities out there, but none are better than the Real Deal Steven Steele community. You can take that to the bank. Believe it. Thank you so much, guys. I'm humbled and very appreciative for those generous super chats. Cointelegraph now reporting, you guys. Senator Warren seizes on fears over crypto and sanctions with new bill. You know, why don't we just crack into this whole Elizabeth Warren thing? She's been making a lot of waves, and not necessarily good ones, as it relates to crypto on a few different fronts, one of which we're going to discuss right now, and then I'll get to the second one, which is even more amusing. If passed, Elizabeth Warren's new draft crypto bill will require local crypto exchanges to submit detailed records to the Treasury Department of customers' identities and transfers of private crypto wallets. Where do we start? Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren is preparing a bill to crack down on the use of crypto as a way to avoid economic sanctions. This is such a disingenuous strategy. This is such BS. Warren's latest anti-crypto move comes alongside a push for the U.S. government to stamp out the possibility of Russia using crypto to skirt a host of economic sanctions placed on the nation. According to March 8th report NBC News, one of the provisions of Warren's new bill, which is a draft form, will require local crypto exchanges to submit detailed records to Treasury Departments of customers' identities and transfers of private crypto wallets. This is what she's proposing is a massive breach of privacy that almost would make the general main purpose of cryptocurrency irrelevant. Senator Warren has been highly skeptical of the crypto sector for quite some time now. In 2021 alone, she labeled DeFi as the most dangerous part of crypto, introduced the bill to study crypto's wall of ransomware, and slammed the Ethereum network for its high fees during a committee hearing. So it's a little surprise to industry observers that she has seized the opportunity to push for tougher regulations. Notice the use of words there. Seized the opportunity. Seize the opportunity. Let me be very clear, guys. I'm not opposed to further regulations on the crypto market. In fact, I do think it is important and necessary to a degree, which would protect consumers from blatant rug pulls and things of this nature. I think further responsible, well-handled crypto regulation for people that are familiar with what they're talking about, what they're doing as it relates to crypto, could be very beneficial. I mean, in a way, it could be very beneficial in terms of putting a lot more stability and reassurance in prospective new investors, which would bring more people into the fold. So I think if handled responsibly, this could be a good thing. Jason Huffman coming in, but let me put a bookmark on that. But first I want to get to Jason Huffman coming in with a $50. Wow, what a wild, wild night. We are rocking, we are rolling Doge after dark style into the twilight, out of sight. Big Doge energy, big positive energy up in here tonight. I love it. We're having a good old party. We are having a party tonight. Folks, if you don't have a little pep in your step, now's the time to get it. Wake up, snap into it. Just like a Slim Jim, you are here at Steven Steele Live, and we are taking it into the twilight. Jason Huffman, humbly appreciative. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. Couldn't be left out of the club, he said. You are never left out of the club. Jason Huffman is one of the core supporters, core community members of, well, this community here since day one. So thank you very much, Jason. Zombie Doge Army coming in with $6.90. We love the 6-9 here on this channel. So thank you for that, Zombie Doge Army. It's my birthday. I need to go. I need a good old fashioned Texas toast from the Real Deal Steven Steele. There you go, my friend. Texas toast served up just the way you'd like it. Thick slabs, buttered up. Butter my biscuits. Give me some Texas toast. I love it. Thank you so much, Zombie Doge Army. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. A lot of big, awesome energy in here tonight. Now, as I was saying, back to this Elizabeth Warren story. So it's a little surprise, Cointelegraph reports, that she has seized the opportunity to push for tougher regulations. There is a difference between responsible regulations that are going to be beneficial to the consumer and the market, and just insane, beyond the pale, tough regulations that are put the investor and the regular everyday crypto investor at severe disadvantages, and this is what she wants to do. This has very little to do protecting you, and has everything to do with her answering to the people who put her in the position of power and help put her there, and her protecting her own bags. Don't get it twisted. Furthermore, this whole conflict, this whole Ukrainian-Russian conflict, I'm really getting a lot of flashbacks to when the neoconservatives of the early 2000s leveraged that crisis to essentially green light a whole host of terrible legislation under the justification of 9/11. Elizabeth Warren is essentially, and a lot of folks right now, a lot of top politicians are using this terrible conflict that's going on right now between those two countries as justification for trying to push through a whole host of lousy legislation that they've been wanting to do for a while, but just needed the right crisis and catalyst to do so. And this is exactly what Elizabeth Warren is so shamelessly capitalizing on, and it's just disgusting. This woman is just, I'm sorry, she's just disgusting. And what she is proposing is so ridiculous and such an overreach, such a tremendous overreach. And it really doesn't come from a place of good intention. That's just the way I see it. And you know who else apparently agrees with me? Dogecoin co-creator, Billy Marcus. So, wow, is this article down? Okay, no, it's not. All right. So this just went up a half hour ago, guys. This just went live. So Billy Marcus was kind of joking around on Twitter, and he referred to Senator Warren as Satan. He referred to her as Satan. And Benzinga picked up and made a story out of it, which is hilarious. That's my favorite part of, one of my favorite things about covering crypto is sometimes the story, the news cycle is forced to cover stories that would be seen as incredibly ridiculous and unconventional in any other markets. But in crypto, things get a lot more animated and fun and funny. And this is one of those moments. So the title of this article is Elon Musk once called Senator Warren, quote unquote, Karen. Now Dogecoin creator dubs her, quote unquote, Satan. Doge co-contributor Billy Marcus called Elizabeth Warren Satan after a report. She said she was drafting a bill to track transactions to private cryptocurrency wallets. Marcus took a swing at Warren on Twitter after noticing a report about Warren and 3 other Democratic senators drafting a bill which he hopes will make it harder to use cryptocurrency to evade sanctions amid the Russia and Ukrainian crisis. And of course, our friend Little Human's Big Impact, one of her tweets is featured in this article. I call her Little Lauren because that's her first name. We got to get her back on the show. She's only been on here once, but it was a long time ago. But we gotta work her back in the mix. To which Shibatoshi Nakamoto, aka Billy Marcus, simply responded, "Elizabeth Warren is Satan." The Dogecoin co-creator urged Bitcoin fans to join him and his community to stop people like Warren from using war to ruin innovation and destroy privacy. You guys, I didn't even read this article all the way through before the show. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you at the beginning of this diatribe about Warren? This is exactly the same observation that Billy is making. She is using the Ukrainian-Russian crisis as a disingenuous catalyst to instill an overreach on cryptocurrency. This is disgusting. This is like, I feel like politicians like Elizabeth Warren and so forth, I could go down a whole list of them, but they're almost like the new neoconservatives in so many ways, and it's just gross. It's just gross. He also asked people in Massachusetts to stop voting for Warren, saying it made the whole state just look as incompetent as her. So again, Billy Marcus just really doubling down on this tangent and even going so far as instructing the citizens of Massachusetts to not vote for her and calling her, her actions disgusting. And I couldn't agree more. And then Billy went on to say finally about 8:30 p.m., and he said this, and this is a direct quote from Billy: "Massachusetts, can you stop voting for this incredibly stupid person? Please, please, it makes your whole state look just as incompetent as her. Thanks." And Benzinga always does this "why it matters" attached to the story. And that "why it matters," they say, Warren has previously spoken out against the threats posed by cryptocurrencies to the U.S. economy and the adverse impact of mining them. Another forthcoming bill sponsored by Warren and Senator Steve Daines, a Republican in Montana, that seeks to bar members from Congress from trading stocks could also cover cryptocurrencies, the New York Post had reported in February. Okay, very interesting. And shame on you, Senator Steve Daines, for co-sponsoring this miserable bill. People of Montana, you can do better than Senator Steve Daines. So definitely might want to look for alternatives there. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Great reset. Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Huffman. Mr. Kai Lin, good to see you, and thank you for the $5 super chat. Stephen, we're going to need your Doge Wallet address for tipping, as my Doge Wallet is out. It is, and it works fantastically, by the way. I would definitely vote against any Satan. If you want my Doge Wallet address, I'd be happy to give it to you. It's actually in... Do I still have it? No, I took it out of my video description. Here, let me see if I can quick look for it here. I don't know if this can be something I can just check really quickly and copy and paste from the chat, but I'll try. I'm having some login issues. You know what? I'll post it. Anyone who wants really wants my Doge Wallet address, just feel free to DM me. I'd be happy to give it. no expectations. Don't feel obligated to tip me Doge or anything. But it is appreciated. It is appreciated. I'll be sure to try to work that back into the video descriptions. They're using the whole. Alan Shire says they're using the whole war to jack up prices when we were energy dependent. We were energy dependent. I have to say, people that have probably been watching my Twitter line lately may think that I'm skew maybe in a partisan manner, and I don't. I'm a very independently minded person. I think people would be quite surprised to see how varied my voting record has been over the course of my life. So I just think independently. I'm consider myself genuinely open-minded when it comes to politics and issues. I view each issue on the merit of that issue instead of subscribing to an entire platform of one side or the other. And I just try to call it as I see it, folks. I just try to call it as I see it. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, we got some great energy in here tonight, guys. And Elizabeth Warren, shame on you. Shame on you. She does not deserve another term. She's been in there too long. And folks, don't get it twisted. This is all about her protecting the people that help put her to office, protecting the people that have been lining her bags. Cryptocurrency is simply decentralized. That means the government has less control over it, and they hate that. They need to have their hands on everything. And, this is one of the purposes why cryptocurrency was created, to be a viable alternative for greater financial freedom and greater privacy for those participating. So anyway, why don't we just keep it moving here? CoinDesk reporting, Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury, other departments will publish report on Monday under Biden crypto executive order. The executive order has been rumored for several months, and it looks like it's about to happen, folks. A presidential executive order on cryptocurrencies would support responsible innovation as it coordinates U.S. policy across agencies. Treasury Secretary, say that 3 times fast, Janet Yellen said late Tuesday in a statement. In a press release dated March 9th, but published on March 8th, Yellen said the department's work in line with the executive order would complement its ongoing existing efforts. The executive order is widely expected to be signed by President Joe Biden on Wednesday. So today, folks, we can expect to see the executive order come in. Under the executive order, listen very carefully, Treasury will partner with interagency colleagues to produce a report on the future of money and the payment systems, Yellen said. Because the questions raised by digital assets have important cross-border dimensions, we'll work with our international partners to promote robust standards and a level playing field. So, that all sounds good, but what actually happens in practice tomorrow remains to be seen. What are my thoughts on all this? I'm very skeptical. Again, I do think a certain level of regulation should and needs to happen within cryptocurrency to instill more confidence among investors, which I do think is going to help bring in a lot more new investors. So I do think it's needed in that regard. And folks, there's been so many rug pulls and things like this. There needs to be harsher regulation, harsher laws to punish blatant scammers and the like and protect the consumers. And I do think that's the right thing to do. But what I'm very concerned about is Biden espousing and perhaps harboring a lot of the same sentiments as the likes of Warren, which is a complete overreach on cryptocurrency, which would be a complete overreach on the investors' privacy and their wallets, etc. I mean, the government wants to get into our private wallets now and have just full access to all that information at all times. I just don't like that. So we just have to see how this goes tomorrow. We just have to see what is going to transpire, what's going to come out among the details of this sort of executive order as it relates to the market. And we'll just have to see how it goes, folks. For me, I could see this. I'm just kind of stuck. I think it's a 50-50 between what could be more of an asset or more of a hindrance to the crypto market. I guess I'm skewing maybe a little bit more skeptically, maybe a 55-45 ratio there in terms of skepticism, just because of how this, again, I really don't mean to be partisan, but how this administration has conducted themselves in the first, I think, what are we at, year and a half of this cycle. It's just, folks, we are literally talking about sectors of the country seeing upwards of $9-10 a gallon within the next couple weeks. I actually tweeted out about two and a half days ago. I said, fill up your cars now, because if you think gas prices are bad now, you ain't seen nothing yet. A few people thought I was being hyperbolic, and lo and behold, we've only seen an incredible rise in ascendance since I issued that warning. I have a large, old beat up work van that gets, it's a real guzzler, man. It gets about 10 or 12 miles to the gallon. Anyway, I filled that sucker up as soon as I saw where the trends were going, and then I filled up my car as well. And wow, this is just wild stuff. Now, what's also interesting, Jason Huffman says, I got my wallet today. When did you get yours? I just got notified that I am eligible to receive my Robinhood wallet this evening, which is awesome. Now, I was way down on that waiting list. I was like 400,000 and something. So, if I'm now finally getting the keys to my Robinhood wallet, and I signed up way late, I can only assume that most of the people are starting to get it too. And from everything that I've seen, the Robinhood wallets are working fantastically. They're working brilliantly and seamlessly. So a big round of applause for Robinhood and Vlad for getting that sorted, getting that together. They really have, despite their some of their sketchy history, they really have gone out of their way to try to accommodate their crypto consumers and user base, and specifically the Dogecoin community. They've really kind of tried to go above and beyond that regard. So, congrats anyone that's got the Robinhood wallets. I'm very pleased with how they're working, and I'm very eager to use them. Let me see. I wanted to cover another story that's very topical. Okay, this is coming courtesy of Wire. Biden on historic gas prices. I can't do much right now. Russia's responsible. President Joe Biden refused to take any ownership of the historic gas prices that Americans are facing right now. When asked about the matter on Tuesday, then he proceeded to deflect blame on Russia. They're going to go up, Biden said when asked about Texas gas prices, which reached record-breaking levels this week. When asked what he could do about it, he said, I can't do much right now. Russia's responsible. So this is an interesting answer. What we are going to see, and mark my words, what we are going to continue to see is this administration continually blame all of the inflation issues and all of the gas price issues on the Russia-Ukrainian crisis, on the Russia-Ukrainian war. It actually provides a very convenient excuse to all of the stagnation and failures going on coming from the top down in this country right now. It's a very convenient excuse. But as I pointed out in a tweet, I think yesterday, don't get it twisted, folks. The inflation rates in this country were already sky high before Russia ever interceded into Ukraine. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. Let's not become, so impressionable to the fog of war here. This is wag the dog 101 kind of stuff. The inflation rates were already sky high, okay, before this conflict ever began. Used cars were up 40%. Grocery bills have been sky high. Gas was already ascending of nearly 40% since where it was a couple years ago, and it goes on and on. Okay, now don't get me wrong, the Ukrainian-Russia conflict is only going to put these levels of inflation on steroids, I believe, particularly as it relates to gas, due to the panic over Russia's oil exports, which don't make up a huge portion of the world's oil supply, but in particular parts of Europe, they are the exclusive or primary oil supplier to select regions over there. Okay? It honestly wouldn't surprise me if we do see gas prices around the country looking at an average of $6 to the gallon. Obviously, the president and a lot of his other celebrity, essentially spokespeople, have been prepping the public for that, including a man I used to consider very funny, who's gotten less funny over time, in my opinion. That's Mr. Stephen Colbert. I used to be a big fan of his first show on the Comedy Central years ago called The Colbert Report. It was kind of a parody on personalities like Bill O'Reilly and all that kind of stuff. And I thought he did it really well. I thought he was really funny back then. It just seems like so many of these guys, the longer they go on in their career, the less funny, the less edgy their humor becomes. And essentially they become the establishment, right? And nobody exemplifies this trajectory more than Stephen Colbert. Daily Wire is reporting Stephen Colbert, elitism on soaring gas prices. Hell, I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla. Of course, he was joking, but it's a kind of an arrogant joke. And he said this, that was a direct quote from his show the other night. And this direct quote from Stephen Colbert. Today, the average gas price in America hit an all-time record high of over $4 a gallon. Okay, that stings, but a clean conscience is worth a buck or two. It's important I'm willing to pay $4 a gallon. Hell, I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla. On the same day, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg was pillared for touting electric vehicles as a solution to rising gas prices. He lauded the nationwide electrical vehicle charging network the Biden administration is pushing, saying that Americans from rural to urban communities can all benefit from the gas saving by driving an EV. Okay, Mr. Buttigieg. Okay. Most Americans are not in a place to be able to finance a new car right now, let alone an EV, which EVs come at a higher premium, particularly when you're buying new, due to offset the savings of gasoline that customers will incur. It takes a while when you buy an EV to make your money back on them and the money that you're saving from gas. It doesn't happen overnight. Furthermore, due to inflation rates, the amount, both for new and used cars, the inflation rates are much, much higher. Most Americans are even in the realm of being able to think about purchasing a new car. So the fact that the Secretary of Transportation of this country is seriously recommending this as one of the key things Americans can do to fight this raging gas inflation is just so out of touch to me. It's so incredibly out of touch to me. Furthermore, we've got these celebrities like Stephen Colbert, George Takei. No, is that his first name? You know, Takei. It's George Takei, isn't it? I feel like I'm maybe not getting his first name right. But Mr. Takei from Star Trek and so forth. It goes on and on, actually. You can just see a compilation of statements that a lot of these celebrities are making that said, we need to do our part as Americans. I don't care if it gets $10, $12, $15, $20 a gallon. We got to hang in there to stick it to Russia or whatever. You know, that would be nice. Except that the people that are telling the average American to do this are multimillionaires. I don't know about you, but $10 a gallon is going to hit me mighty hard, and I suspect for many of you as well. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. And it's okay to ask ourselves, before we decide to intervene further in this conflict, what's in it for us? It's okay to ask that as Americans. What's in it for us? And furthermore, what's it going to mean for us? Because it's really easy in theory to say you're going to take it to the bank no matter what in order to stick it to Russia. But I perceive people talking versus the reality of if it actually gets to $9, $10 a gallon through large swaths of the country. I don't know how many people are going to really feel that way, or really going to follow through, even the people that express the sentiments of following through. Think about that 10 miles a gallon, or 10 miles a gallon. Think about $10 a gallon. Think about how much more money you're spending a week. And we're not even talking about groceries, which are up 35 to 40% overall. Anyway, what's going on in the chat? If you think about price across the board, a great time to release wallets. Not many people wanting to use them right now. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it is smart. Anyway, thank you guys for indulging me in my topical tangents tonight. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. It's just wild. It's just wild. There's a lot to be fired up about. A lot to be fired up about. A lot to be aware of as we're moving forward here. Let's go to this next story from FX Street. FX Street. Dogecoin price stumbles after public release of My Doge Wallet for iOS users. Interesting. Interesting title, and we're going to get to this title momentarily. My Doge Wallet, exclusively made for Dogecoin, was recently released publicly for OS users. Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine. Did I ever tell you guys that I have a bit of dyslexia? Yeah, I do. Some nights it hits me harder than others, and tonight it's kind of giving me some tongue twisters. The Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine announced that the war-torn nation has started accepting donations in Dogecoin. Dogecoin price struggled to recover from recent drop despite rising in adoption. I'm not even going to read this any further. I just basically brought this article up because I thought that the title of the article is pretty ridiculous, tying the stumbling in Dogecoin's market value to the public release of My Doge Wallet, as if they're related at all, as if the release of My Doge Wallet, implying the release of My Doge Wallet had something to do with Dogecoin's price stumbling. It's so stupid. That's absurd. Of course it's not. I'll tell you what has to do with Dogecoin's price stumbling more than anything else. It's the price of Bitcoin, folks. It's not rocket science. Yesterday, we saw almost a 10% decrease in the value of Bitcoin in about a day and a half. And consequently, we also saw about an 8-9% drop in Dogecoin. So why did Dogecoin go down 8-9%? Because Bitcoin went down 10%, folks. You know, we are still living in a Bitcoin dominant market. It's not that hard to figure out, honestly. And it has nothing to do with the My Doge Wallet. By the way, I'm very impressed with the functionality of the My Doge Wallet. I think it works brilliantly. I think it works really well. I'm really, really stoked about it. Really stoked about it. And I think it's going to be something that's going to get a ton of application and use in the future. I think its popularity is only going to grow exponentially. CoinDesk reporting. How tax protesters set off a Bitcoin revolution. And it kind of goes into the history of the Bitcoin with its kind of hardline libertarian roots. It's interesting. It's just interesting, I say that. In part, what spawned the culture of Dogecoin was a bit of a rebellion to the initial Bitcoin culture that kind of took itself too seriously and over the top in that regard. And so it's just interesting. It's also interesting to see how times change and how the political paradigms can greatly evolve and de-evolve in different ways. And if we look at the paradigms that have shaped up now, in some regards the left is now right and the right is now left in some regards, and then other aspects of the political paradigm have just stepped off the ranch of sanity, in my opinion. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see the evolution of all these things. Now, Elon Musk officially asks court to terminate the SEC's policing of his Tesla's tweets. Elon Musk has now officially asked the court to change in 2018 settlement with the SEC in order to terminate the SEC's policing of his tweets. The situation between the SEC, Elon Musk, and Tesla has escalated significantly over the last few weeks. The SEC and the lawyer on behalf of Elon Musk and Tesla have been going back and forth in letters to a court about the pressure of the agency in putting on Tesla and Musk to get them fighting for what they see now as abuse of the deal achieved through the settlement. The SEC filed a lawsuit against Musk for his infamous funding secured comment regarding his failed attempt to take Tesla private back in 2018. So it's pretty interesting. Musk explicitly telling the SEC to say, back off. I need freedom of tweets. Freedom of tweets. So it'll be interesting to see the evolution of this court case. But, there's Musk standing up for his freedom of tweet. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the author. Benzinga reporting Rich Dad, Poor Dad author sees U.S. seizing all crypto after Biden's executive order. So, wow. I hope not. I forget how to pronounce his last name. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, has predicted that U.S. President Joe Biden's executive order to regulate cryptocurrency will mark the downfall for the asset class. In a tweet Wednesday, he told his 1.8 million Twitter followers that he expects all cryptocurrencies to be seized and folded into government crypto following an executive order to regulate digital assets. His take was widely criticized, however, by the cryptocurrency community, with some users commenting that he did not really understand Bitcoin and believed it to be, if he believed it could be seized by the government. Others pointed out only 6 hours earlier, Kiyosaki himself had recommended saving Bitcoin in addition to gold, silver, and guns. The author has been a longtime advocate of cryptocurrency and is often seen recommended Bitcoin and Ethereum as a hedge against inflation. What is my take on this? Don't take this guy's dire predictions too literally, too seriously. I'm not, at the same time, I don't take this off the table. I don't take this off the table in terms of realm of possibility, but I would definitely rank that his prediction on this as low probability. So don't freak out. Don't freak out, everyone. I think that's his take is a bit hyperbolic there. So now we're going to talk about Lunaterra as promised earlier. NDTV.com reporting Terra Luna over doubles in the past month. Sorry, I'm getting some pop-up ads that are really annoying. Doubles in the past month despite increasing crypto volatility and a dramatic rise. The total market cap of Terra has zoomed to $34 billion, making it the 7th largest token. So there we have it, folks. I told you this back when Lunaterra was hovering around 12 and 13, that it was going to secure a place easily within the top 10. And here we are, Lunaterra securing its place at number 7 by market cap worldwide. Relatively little known token called Terra Luna has emerged as the top bet in performance and delivering returns the past month when the cryptocurrency market had been experiencing extreme volatility. Over the past month, the token's value has almost doubled from a low of $47 to now $92.5 actually. It has risen dramatically in the past 7 days, just around the time the war in Ukraine has begun. And on February 24th, the price of Terra was hovering around $52, but it has risen since. With a dramatic rise, the total market cap of Terra has zoomed to $34 billion, making it the 7th largest token according to CoinMarketCap. Terra Luna's strong performance possibly comes from the uncertainty that has besieged the global market since Russian forces entered Ukraine to launch war. Experts said that the increased crypto investments interest in stablecoins, Luna happened to be beneficiary. Terra is a blockchain protocol that uses fiat-pegged stablecoins to power price stable global government systems. And that's kind of the genius of it. And I do think they are correct in this assessment. I do think that is the main thing that is attracting investors, is that Terra Luna's unique blockchain uses a fiat-pegged stablecoin behind it. And that was generally my justification for why I saw the potential in Lunaterra, particularly in contrast to volatility, because it's pegged to a stablecoin. This gives the perception of consumers to be the opposite of volatility, and I think that's the main thing that has been ascending its value. CNET reporting on Pixelmon. I don't know how many of you followed the Pixelmon saga. It's an NFT collection that had about 10,000 pieces that is now most known for its infamous Kevin character, which has been memed all heck. People spent $9,000 a piece on Pixelmon NFTs. Then they saw the art. Pixelmon hoped to be the Pokemon of NFT games and raised $70 million to make that happen. And then its art dropped. It's meant to be the Pokemon NFT games set in the world of Eden. Pixelmon is able to be a open source RPG where Pixelmon creatures are caught, traded, and sold as non-fungible tokens upon the game's launch. Pixelmon NFT holders are given land, blah, blah, blah. The point is, just to mint, it was 3 ETH. And as most of you know, when the Pixelmon, so people paid 3 ETH a piece for these Pixelmon NFTs pre-reveal, off the hope in hopes that this was going to be a mega successful game in the spirit of Pokemon and the success of it. And even the main developer and project lead, rather, was literally tweeting things like, this is financial advice. This thing's going to blue chip. You should buy it. Very reckless, very irresponsible. Very stupid thing to tweet, frankly. For any project. Nobody can guarantee that sort of thing. It's dumb. That should have been a big red flag for investors, frankly. And then when they revealed the artwork, it honestly looked like they picked the worst programmer on Fiverr to do this thing. The artwork is atrocious. It's awful. And obviously, people that invested in Pixelmon were shocked and upset. They just spent $9,000 a piece on these terribly unprofessional NFTs, and it's kind of sent shockwaves throughout the NFT world. Frankly, unsurprising. The main project lead in that project is, of course, not doxxed. He's anonymous, but we do know he's a 21-year-old kid. So you mean to tell me a 21-year-old project lead is going to be responsible for the most, quote-unquote, the most successful video game in an NFT market? What is the probability of that really happening? Very low. Very low. Would you invest $9,000, almost $10,000, in a 21-year-old who said that he is the project lead in building the most successful, coolest video game in the NFT market? If a 21-year-old came up into the street and pitched you that, would you give him $10,000? No. Win more guests, Steven, Zombie Doge Army. Very soon, my friend, very soon. I have been actively working on that. I will have some announcements soon. Actually, I was just talking to Sadaf earlier. She's going to be on soon, I promise. We're going to work Nick in as well. And I got a couple other surprise guests additionally. So just hang in there, guys. Hang in there. Let's go, Luna, says Swift Lipinski. No kidding. No kidding. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Georgie says, I think it's time for Tesla to make a new model, like Model 1, for example, some small and cheap basic EV. I think it's high time. And I totally agree with you, Georgie. I think this would be the perfect time to do it. I think the Model 3 is just launching, kind of attempting to be something more affordable, as I understand it. I'll have to look into that more. So it looks like they're taking a step in that direction, Georgie. I wouldn't trust a young person with a cup of coffee, says Link. Let alone $10,000 for a really crappy NFT, right? Let's see here. What else do we got on the roster here, guys? What else do we got on the roster? I think I whizzed through most of these stories pretty lightning quick, frankly. Pretty lightning quick. Let's see here. Barron's is reporting, guys, that Elon Musk wants the U.S. and the world to pump more oil. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has taken a surprising stance. He recommends increasing oil production to ease prices. Musk has built the electronical vehicle company, Tesla, partly to wean the world off fossil fuels and create an economy based on sustainable renewable energy. He tweeted Friday that extraordinary times demand extraordinary measures, adding that while falling energy prices can impact the demand for EVs. Hate to say it, but we need to increase the oil and gas output immediately. So this is surprising but unsurprising. This is obviously a take that would be disadvantageous for the president of Tesla to make. But Elon Musk, I genuinely feel that he really tries to do the right thing for the majority of society, for the world. And I think this is another example of that. I agree with him. Temporarily, I do think it needs to be bolstered. Temporarily. Jason Huffman coming in with a $5 super sticker. Hype, hippo hype. I love it. Give me that hippo hype. Jason Huffman coming in again with a hippo speed racer coming in there. Thank you again, Jason. Appreciate your support. March 16th is an important date. I don't know what to make of that. What I do know is that potentially now, keep an eye on eBay. eBay may accept Dogecoin on the 10th or the 11th. in addition to a couple other cryptos as well. They made a pretty strong hint to this about a week ago. So let's see how that evolves going forward, guys, because that could happen as soon as this Thursday. Now, those of you who know me pretty well know that in addition to this, one of the things I am is a recording artist. I used to make a living doing that. And I've been getting back in the swing of things. I just released a new single. Now, my project is called Ice Island. That's the artist name. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. Free to stream, obviously. And my new single is called Population. Population. A few of you probably see me talk about it and promoting it a little bit lately. So just a shameless shill for my new song, Population by Ice Island. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique genre bend there. And so feel free to check that out. Zombie Doge Army coming in with a $3 super sticker with some hiya kung fu aerobic action there. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. So here we are. Market ascending. How long will this last? Who knows? Tomorrow we could see a significant drop in retracement tomorrow. If I had to guess right now, I would say that there's going to be a retracement tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be a retracement that's going to be super severe as if today's pump ever happened. I do think that we're probably likely going to level off at a floor a bit higher than we were previously before this pump. And but this could all change pretty radically because the executive order's coming in. So it just kind of all depends also on the details of that executive order. So I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on that. In fact, I may do a special day stream if I can manage to do so as this executive order is completely released and cover it live. So watch out for that. Let's see what else is on my notes here, guys. Kathy Wood. The Daily Hold is reporting Kathy Wood of ARK Investments says decentralized finance is a threat to all financial institutions. ARK Invest founder Kathy Wood says decentralized DeFi could threaten the supremacy of financial institutions. In a recent conversation with the Miami Herbert Business School, the hedge fund founder discusses the burgeoning sector's potential impact on traditional finance. This is a direct quote now from Kathy, you guys. The financial revolution is DeFi, and really, it's just taking all of the middleman out of the financial ecosystem. A real threat to all of us. We know the combination of digital wallets and DeFi is going to hollow out a lot of financial institutions. It may be already happening because a lot of lending and savings is taking place on DeFi because it offers lower loan rates and higher savings rates. So that's a compelling combination. Wood says DeFi is scaling enormously and has already had its resilience tested by past market developments. Woods points out to DeFi users leveraging Bitcoin and Ethereum during a recent market stumbles as evidence that DeFi ecosystems are still going strong. What's my take on this? I have a lot of respect for Kathy Wood. She has a pretty good track record. Not a flawless one by any means, but overall I think she has a pretty good track record on long-term predictions. So when she makes some bold statements like this, I pay attention. I listen, and I take it very seriously. So, I guess that's all I have to say about it there. Guys, it's about 2:15 in the morning here on my neck of the woods. I've been going for about an hour. I kind of blazed through all of my notes here tonight. And I'm about at the end of it here. Don't worry, I will be bringing guests back on. I know I haven't really had many guests on lately. Those of you who tuned into the last show, however, we had a very special treat. If you missed it, it was also a super late night when we were up about till 3:30 in the morning live streaming there. And it's because I had a very special surprise guest, and he wanted it to be a surprise because he didn't want to attract a lot of press, and I respect that. But Ross Nickel came on, and we had a great talk, and I asked him a lot of great questions. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, please go back in the archive on the last full-length show wherein Ross ended up joining me probably about 20 minutes in the show, even if you want to scroll ahead and check that out. I think it's really, really worth viewing. At that, I am going to bid you guys adieu. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you got something out of it. I know I did. I had a great time. You guys are freaking awesome. Special thanks to my super chatters for your support. Hugely, hugely appreciated. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, make sure you do. I'm very active over there. I assume most everyone here already does, but in the event you don't, I'm going to put my Twitter handle in the chat. You can follow me over there. I love staying connected with my audience there, and I'm very active over there, as you guys know. Anyway, let's stay positive. Let's keep the momentum going strong. Keep that Doge momentum going strong, guys. I believe in the end that we will win. I really do. I sincerely believe that. So this is a long-term game. This is a long-term journey that we are all in together. And this isn't just about the money. We are making great friends. We are building a great community, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. It's about the journey. Half the fun is the journey. Half the fun is the adventure, guys. And we are going to continue this adventure. I'm going to be back soon, perhaps even tomorrow night. So keep those notifications on, gang. Until next time, this is your man and pal, Real Deal Steven Steele, signing off. Thanks, guys.